Two women are talking in an elevator about being late for an interview when a wheelchair user asks for their help getting into the elevator. The woman in green says she couldn't because they were late, but the wheelchair user says she was late for an interview and would miss it. The women say she wouldn't be able to get in the elevator, but the wheelchair user says that elevator was made for wheelchair users so he would be able to get in. But they don't want to help the wheelchair user. They tell her to take the stairs because it would slow them down. When they get out of the elevator, one of them says she had an idea and takes a bucket that was there and puts it on the elevator door so that the wheelchair user cannot get to the interview. After one of them finished the interview, the other asks how it had gone. She says that they asked about her friend, how long she had known her, if she was a good professional. This surprises the friend with the situation, but the other woman says that the company was evaluating the conduct of its candidates. The woman asks what the other had said, and she replied that she had said that her friend was a good person, that she always helped others, and that she went to church every Sunday. The woman then thanks her and says that they will get the job. The other woman says there was only one problem and her friend asks what it was. She then points to the side, and as soon as the woman looks she becomes disheartened and she says she will sort it out. When the wheelchair user was walking through the door, the woman greeted her with a huge smile on her face. She says she wants to apologize for what she did earlier and that it was all a joke. She then starts to lightly punch the wheelchair user's leg, but soon apologizes again and says she can't feel her legs. The wheelchair user says that everything was fine and asks if there was someone to assist her. The woman's friend then says that there was a boy in the room and that he would call her soon. The woman then says that while they wait, they were supposed to go get something to eat and that she would pay as an apology. The wheelchair user then suspects that, but says she is thirsty and accepts the invitation and that she would have nothing to worry about. The woman then says that she will help her with the wheelchair. When they were going to buy something to eat, the wheelchair user says that that was the wrong way and the woman says that that was a shortcut and that it was for her to relax. The wheelchair user then says that she cannot lock her in there and asks why she is doing that to her. She says it was no big deal, it was just to remove a candidate from the competition. Desperate, the wheelchair user asks for help so that someone will help her. She keeps asking for help, but nobody comes to help her. Soon she starts thinking about how she could get out of there and remembers a person who can help her. She takes out her cell phone and calls him. Later in the interview, the man is talking to the woman about how she was exactly the person they were looking for the job. She appreciates the man's words and says that she had worked hard to get that job. He compliments her and says her resume was one of the best he's seen and she thanks him again. The man then says that one of the company's norms was that its employees have principles and asks if she did. She then says yes, that she was very charitable and that she always thought of others before her. The man then congratulates the woman. The woman then tries to seduce him, but he doesn't let her close and says that first of all she needed to meet the owner of the company. She says it will be a pleasure to meet the owner of the company just as it was a pleasure to meet the man. So the man asks her to accompany him. The woman then asks what the name of the company owner was and the man says it was Daniela. When the man was going to enter the room where the woman had locked the wheelchair user, she tells the man not to enter that room. He says that was the company owner's office and that he would call her. The woman then says she couldn't stay as she was late for an appointment, but the man says he'll be quick. The woman then hides. When the man opens the door and sees the wheelchair user, she asks where the woman was. The man says he was right there and that she was a little scared and the wheelchair user says she knows why the woman was scared. The wheelchair user then asks how the interview went, and the man says that she had everything they were looking for, but that she was a little scared, and the wheelchair user says she knows why. The wheelchair user then calls out to the woman and comments to the man about not believing that there are still people like that in the world. The woman then apologizes to the wheelchair user and says she never imagined that she was the owner of the company. She then asks if because she was the owner she would have to be treated differently, that if someone is below her, it was okay to treat her badly, but if it is someone superior to her then she couldn't. The woman says that the wheelchair user had misunderstood her joke and says that she really needs that job. The wheelchair user then says that throughout her life, she had met many people like the woman and that this taught her that if she told the woman the job, she would not learn a lesson, as she should have thought of treating women well. People always, and for that reason she and her friend were not going to be hired. She then asks the woman to change her way of thinking and to leave her company. The woman then asks for one more chance, because she really needed that job, but the wheelchair user denies it and says that she has faith that the woman would still learn a lesson from all that, and she wishes her luck with the next opportunity that appears for the woman, but that in her company she would not work. The woman then apologizes and says she will improve as a person.